So generally speaking, I agree with all the guys, aside from Humble Dad, in terms of like the day to day, because I know he didn't speak about the day to day. But I heard it the same way Humble Dad heard it in terms of like going places, in terms of trips. This one NFL player, he told us that some years ago, this cat out in Jersey, he was saying the way that he keeps himself out of trouble is when he goes on those trips. Shit, instead of going there looking for women, he just takes his wife with him. And to be honest, I had to let myself entertain that perspective, because usually I'm a dude that will be going somewhere looking for women. You feel me? But once I realized, shit, just get you a bad chick. Make sure your chick bad. Make sure she's fun and things like that. And when you're going on these trips, shit, take her and smut her out. You feel me? Instead of going and doing some shit that's gonna get you in trouble. I know it sounds a little crazy, but that's, you know what I'm saying? That's the best way I could put it. So that's what I got from it, kind of what Humble Dad got from it. So yeah.
Yeah, travel with your girl. Everybody travel with your woman though. Like excursions, events, vacations. Yeah, that's what. So I got it opposite of Sean and Humble. I got it like the other brothers. He sounded like he just wanted his woman up under her all day long, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I gave the examples that I gave. Having your woman up under you all day long, it causes problems. In fact, I'm glad Humble Dad brought up the COVID. What happened in 2020? You see, our marriage and divorce rates have been declining over the years, right? It's not less people getting married and less divorces naturally, but there was a 34% spike in divorces. Even though we were steadily declining, there was a spike in divorces during 2020. Mm-hmm. And can anybody guess why that happened during 2020 when we were all locked down in the house all together?
Because y'all ain't have a good relationship with y'all wife. That's why.
I think they finally got to really understand each other and learn where each other was coming from.
A lot of people learn. So that means that they did it wrong early. Then that means that you was not getting to know your wife
for whatever reason. Whether it's didn't get to know them right, whether they didn't vet them right, whether I learned stuff about you that I never knew. And now that I'm around you, now that I'm locked in this house because I can't go nowhere and we're not at work all day long. Oh my God, I didn't realize you did that, or you thought like that, or the people had political differences. People had differences on taking the jab. People had differences on wearing masks. Wow, I didn't realize that you thought like that. When a lot of times when you're around somebody like that, like Humble Dad is suggesting, you learn motherfuckers and you realize, wow, who did I marry? But then at the same time, when you're around motherfuckers, you can realize, damn, who am I with? So right. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? It depends on how, it just depends on the perspective that you're looking at it. Is it a glass half empty or a glass half full? Nevertheless, it was a 30+% spike in people saying, I didn't know who I was married to. I got to get out of this when we all got locked down together.
So, Shane, do you have any information to say if they gave the reasons of divorce during that time period? I would be interested.
Yeah. So it was.
I saw the statistic, but I didn't see the reason.
So the southern states had the highest divorce rate, if I recall. It was because it was an article that I read on a show. So it was the southern states had the highest divorce rates, and a lot of it was, and if I recall correctly, a lot of it was because I just grabbed the stats and threw them in my notes. I don't remember I didn't write the reasons why, but if I remember, it was southern states hit it the most. Newlywed couples was hit the hardest, and people that didn't realize that. Well, political differences was one. People were like, some husbands was like, fuck that, I ain't wearing no mask. And wives was like, what are you doing? You need to wear a mask. And those internal in-home arguments caused dissension between husband and wife, which led to divorce. And
anxiety.
There was some people that was on they treated wearing that mask like a religion. Going off on people like, are you crazy? You killing your grandparents if you're not doing that. And other people like, nah, it's all a hoax. You got one dude that thinks it's a hoax and the other guy and the woman, she thinks it's real. So it's a lot of that stuff that was going on, and a lot of political differences, and then in-home infighting. Just, I didn't know that you didn't. I'm making up stuff, but whatever
voted for Trump or went for Biden
together all the time now exasperated when they were locked down together.
But also, didn't we see a spike in marriages during that time too?
No, it wasn't a spike in marriages. It was all of it was declining year over year, marriages and divorces, right? But the divorce rate spiked a little during the pandemic. The marriage rate continued on a steady pace, on its steady decline, but the divorce rate spiked a little higher because people start realizing I don't really like my husband. I don't really like I'm not happy. Or he's not protecting me like I thought he would. I thought I had a man's man, but he was always at work. But now that we're here, he can't get no toilet paper. And I thought I had a husband that can go out and bring some toilet paper. And so since he can't do nothing and I have to do it myself, what do I need him for? It was those kind of little infighting arguments that was happening during that time.
But just to add before the others go, I would suggest that it was finances. That's what I would suggest, that the transition in during that time when people couldn't get to work.
A lot of people lost their jobs. You talking about humble?
Yeah.
And so most people were laid off.
Yeah, and so that probably created those conversations that you're talking about that escalated. That's just my thought.
Secondly, there's a few other factors. Depression spiked, anxiety spiked, any mental disorder. So now you have to interact with the person every single day, and all of those factors is just like, whoa, like it could absolutely put stress on. If you have somebody who's anxious, you're gonna have issues. Depression, that'll make you not want to be around anybody. And you a lot of things that you probably should have inevitably found out about, but it's just probably just process. But I think back what Humble Dad was saying, probably didn't vet properly, because some of those problems shouldn't be any political differences. A woman is supposed to understand that you leading the situation, she's supposed to ride. So it shouldn't even be that. If this is you set the precedent, and wife is supposed to follow. So that shouldn't even be a thing.
Mm-hmm. All right, let me get Cloud in there. What are your thoughts about this, sir, man? Are you that guy?
I would say, like, I lean more towards being a absence is the heart grow fonder kind of guy. Like, I think it's good to spend a lot of time with your significant other. I think it's great to make time and plan things out specifically for you two to do. But I think it's a big mistake to try to intertwine your lives completely. And I just get that from watching my parents growing up. Like, I didn't growing up, it wasn't a cell phone era. You couldn't text every 5 minutes. And I saw the benefits of, like, the excitement that I would see between my parents when they would finally see each other during the day, and not just seeing each other and being able to spend that time together, but just even having new information to share. Like, my dad was the kind of guy who during the day, he's meeting a lot of clients and stuff like that, right? So he was able to go out and discover new restaurants, new places to eat. So when he would get back with my mom or with the family, he would have the opportunity then to show us new things. And I feel like if my mom and dad were together all the time and she was by his side every day, there'd be nothing new to show her. There'd be no surprises, because every time they decide to go eat somewhere, where they're gonna go? They're gonna go somewhere that she like, So I feel like it's good to get a nice separation so that you can develop your own personal interests and develop your own character, and then you have a lot more to bring to the table with your partner. I agree with what most of the guys said, where the guy in the video, to me, he kind of sounded like a little clingy. Like, it sounded a little cringy to me. It sounded like he was trying to say, like, yo, like, I don't want to go nowhere without my wife. And I feel like that's definitely a honeymoon stage kind of thing. Like, when you got a new girlfriend or a new wife, and it's like, especially in social media era, everybody wants to have a bae moment or a couple goals moment, So I feel like everybody's seeking to be like, oh, let's do this together, and let's do this together, so we could take pictures here and post these pictures, because it's all about these power couple goals and all of that. And I feel like what's really happening is, like, you're so close to this person, y'all end up becoming the same person. You don't have any separate interests. You don't have any new ideas. You don't have anything new to even talk about. Like, I've been in relationships where me and the girl have spent maybe, like, let's say we just got back from vacation or something, and after vacation we still spending time together, like maybe 2-3 days after the vacation we still hanging out. Eventually you start getting, like, eventually y'all just flipping through the TV, not saying nothing, y'all just napping, y'all not really doing nothing. It starts getting boring, and then once you start getting bored, that's when resentment sets in. You start looking at this other person like, damn, I kind of want to go outside in the backyard and just do something, but I know if I get up to go do it, she gonna want to come with me. I kind of want to just hit my boys up and go da-da-da, but I know she gonna ask if she could come, and then the resentment starts. So without healthy separation, you get resentment that wouldn't even be there. Like meaning like you like this person, you genuinely enjoy them, but now you can't even stand them simply because you haven't been away from them in a couple of days. And I feel like that's what happened during the pandemic. I don't think it's necessary that these people didn't love their relationships or they didn't love the people that they were with. I just feel as though when you forcing people to be with each other that much, they run out of things to talk, start getting irritated with each other, and that irritation affects the relationship in a negative way. So a healthy distance always makes the heart grow fonder, for sure.